All right, good morning, everybody, from Camden, Tennessee, where we got quite the ice storm last night. Everything is frozen solid. We got iceberg in. The dock and everything is so frozen that it's pretty much unwalkable. Can't even get out of the boat this morning because it's all so frozen and slippery that it's pretty ridiculous. It is beautiful, though. It's a beautiful frozen Tennessee morning. So I sprinkled a little bit of salt out there, see if we can get something to start thawing out here. We got a little bit of sunshine. As long as the sun comes out, then might thaw the docks off enough for us to walk on them and take the dogs to the bathroom. It's been pretty unruly the last week or so. The weather's been pretty ridiculous. I don't know where to set this. Put it right here. See how that works. Hey, that works pretty good. So that's kind of what we've been doing. We got down to the bottom of the Mississippi River right in the middle of that storm last week. That was just crazy. Thunderstorms blowing sideways, current strong. Trying to get the anchor to set. Fought for a couple of hours trying to get the anchor to set before we lost daylight. We got it to set enough, but just to make sure, we tied a safety rope into the trees. I took the dinghy and went into the trees as it was getting dark and tied a safety rope into the trees just to make sure, in case in the middle of the night the wind blew us off anchorage, which it did. So luckily we had a safety rope tied into the trees. So in the morning, of course, there was no going to get the safety rope, so we just cut it loose, left it in the trees, and then started heading up the Ohio River, fighting 30-mile-an-hour headwinds and 10-mile-an-hour currents. So it took us, how long did it take us? Like 7 hours?
Yes.
It took us about 7 hours to go 47 miles upriver, fighting 4-foot waves, and it was pretty unruly. And then we got into Paducah, Kentucky, and the marina at Paducah, Kentucky, was right on the channel, and right next to the marina is the boatyard for the barges. So all night long we were just getting bounced off the ceiling from the barges coming and going, and the wind blowing about 30 miles an hour, and it was about 15 degrees outside, but it was dry, so we did pretty good. And then last night we had winds 25-30 miles an hour all night, rained and snowed most of the night, and then got about 10 degrees this morning, so just completely iceberged the place. So now the whole place is frozen solid, and that's kind of where we're at. So we're just kind of hanging out. Now it's finally supposed to warm up. This ridiculous cold snap is supposed to be over. Temperatures are supposed to be back into the 60s in a couple of days, so we're still just hanging out in Camden. Luckily I got some carburetor work for the old boy Bob that owns this place, and he's got a 41 Ford truck, a old Massey Ferguson tractor, some kind of boom truck, and a roller out there that all needs some work done on it. So I'm going to hustle some work and make a little money, and we're going to hang out here for a couple more days and try to get warm and see how that works out for us. But meanwhile, this is just definitely not what you would expect for November in Tennessee, that's for sure. And we're just about to the Mississippi, because Tennessee borders right here, and then we got Alabama, Mississippi right here, and we're just about down there. But you know, of course, it's one of those years, and everybody's talking about record colds, and it's never been like this, and you know, it hasn't been like this since 1842, and on and on. So you know how it goes. The weather has not been our friend on this trip, but we're almost south. We're only about 400 miles from the Gulf. So as soon as the weather breaks, we're going to make a run for it again. So until then, we are kind of stuck right here for at least a couple of days, or until they bring salt out here and try to salt the docks. I called the old boy that owns the place, Bob, this morning, and he said his guys can't even get here, that the whole town is pretty much iceberged in, so the roads are so slippery that you can't even walk outside of your house. So he said they're going to try to get up sometime today and get some salt and see if we can get this all salted and melted, and we'll see. It's only supposed to be 28 degrees today, so but that should be enough to melt the ice off. So
66.
We will find out, faux surely. So from frozen purgatory of Tennessee, we will see you next time.